Hi, this is Carrie from Scrapyard Chicks, and I just want to show you a couple quick techniques for doing these little flowers that are on our layout today. We are going to start out with these little lollipop flowers, and then I'm going to show you how to do this really fun flower right here. So to start out with the lollipop flowers, what you need is a series of circles. And for this I started out this, I have a 2-inch, a 1.5, a 1, and a 3/4 inch circle. And I'm not going to do all the technique on this, I'm just going to kind of show you how it goes together. But what you want to do is you want to distress the edge of these circles. Now this is a distressing tool. You can use something like this, you can use a nail file, you can use sandpaper. Basically you want to rough it up to kind of expose that white edge, and you're just going to go all the way around like this. This is by Tim Holtz. They do make other variations of this. Anyway, so we're going to pretend like we went all the way around. Then you kind of want to wrinkle it up a little bit. I know this seems really weird, but we're not going to leave it wrinkly, but what that does is it gives it that good texture. So then once it's kind of all texturized like that, then what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing with each succession of circles all the way in. Now I'm not going to do that in our little demonstration here, but you can see on our layout how each one of these circles has been crumpled up and how it gives it that great sort of textural look that we're going for with this. So I'm not going to do that on our demonstration. Then what you're going to do is you're just going to take a regular old hole punch, and you're just going to punch a hole in the center of each one of those circles, all the way down to the little one, because we're going to connect these together with a piece of ribbon. So now we've got these 4 circles, and you can actually do more than 4 circles if you want. You could do multiples of the same size. Sorry, I was looking for my ribbon. And then you need about 6 inches of ribbon. So what we're going to do is we're just going to tie this into an overhand knot in the center of the ribbon, about the center. You want it to be near the center because it will come out more even that way. So just about like that. We're going to take both ends and we're going to thread those through, starting with the smallest circle. We're going to go through that one. It helps if you cut them at a little bit of a point. And the reason I like using just a plain old cheap paper punch is because it has a little bit bigger hole than like the Crop-A-Dile. It makes it just a little bit easier to get those ends through. It also kind of depends on how wide your ribbon is. So you're just going to keep going through from the smallest to the largest. And when we did our flowers, one of them has 4 layers, or actually 2 of them I guess have 4 layers, and one has just 3 layers. So you can kind of play around with this. If you don't have circle punches, you can use, you could just rough cut these, and that actually is a cool technique too, because they don't need to be perfect. Or you could use your Cricut to cut out a bunch of circles. So we just went ahead, we're going to thread all that together like that. And then what you're going to do is just take a couple of glue dots and just secure those little ends on the back. And then when you get all done, you want to kind of crunch those layers up and kind of pinch them together a little bit, just to kind of give your flowers a little bit of texture like that. And then I attach these to my layout with a couple of foam squares. So you can see I've got 2 on the left page, and then I have 1 flower like that over on the right page. So when you do this, you want to make sure you don't pull that knot too tight, otherwise you aren't going to have that cute little center for your flower. So that's all there is to our fancy little lollipop flowers. And then the second one we're going to do is this fun white flower right here, and this is actually made out of cupcake papers. You could do this out of scallop circles if you wanted to, or you could cut circles and you could zigzag the edges. But I have this pack of little mini cupcake papers sitting there for another project, and I just got this crazy idea to make these flowers out of it. And so what you want to do with these is you want to just go ahead and fold them in half like this. And just kind of, you're going to need 4. And the minis work the best because you don't want, otherwise you end up with a huge flower, which would also be cool depending on what kind of layout that you're doing. So you're just going to go ahead and you're going to fold each one of them in a half circle like this. I know this seems really crazy, but trust me, it will be very cool. So so we're just going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to flip my layout over so you can kind of see what I'm doing here on the back. So I've got my 4 half circles like this, and what we're going to do is we're going to put these together in what's called a box top flower. Looking for my roll of glue dots as usual, so I can't... Oh, they're in the box, of course, right where they belong. Okay, so we're going to start out, we're going to overlap these. Now what I did on mine is I took some of my chalk and I went through and I actually chalked up the edge. I did the outer edge really kind of dark, and that just kind of exposes kind of that ruffle. And then I went and I chalked up the inside edge a little bit lighter, just so you can kind of see. I mean, it's a very subtle effect. If you have some spray ink, you could spritz these with some spray ink, something like that. Whatever you want to do, you could use some chalk ink on it, however you like to do it. Okay, so we're going to start out with this first one. What we're going to do is we're going to put a glue dot on the back side of this top section, like that. And then we're going to lay that over top of this circle. Then we're gonna turn it. We're gonna put a glue dot back behind again, that back section. Then we're gonna stick that on top layer of the next one, and then you're gonna turn it. So this is also called a box top flower because it's kind of like when you're closing the top of a box without using any tape. Okay, so then we're gonna put a glue dot on the back side of the circle. And we're going to fit that last one in there. So this one goes behind. And then it's kind of open right here. So then what we need to do is we need to put a glue dot on the back side of this. And that is just going to go ahead and complete our circle. So if you look around, you can see how this one's on top, then the next one's on top, the next one's on top, and so on. So it looks like the top of a box top. And so then what we're going to do next is you're just going to take a couple little punch outs, a 1 inch and a 3/4 inch circle punch like this, and that's going to become your center. You can go ahead and pierce a hole through this, and then you're going to secure that with a brad. And you can see what we did right here. We secured that with a brad. And then you can just go through and you can fluff up those edges to create this really, really fun ruffly flower like this. And like I said, if you have some spray ink or something like that, it would be really cool to spray that with a couple of colors. You can do all kinds of stuff with that. So that's our techniques for the week. We've got those 2 fun little flowers. So I hope you enjoy that, and you hope you enjoy our layout for the week. And I'll see you next Thursday for a new 2-page layout. Thanks.